This one has been a long time coming. My channel started many years ago based around Mortal Kombat 9, and I did a few tech and strategy videos for Baraka and mainly Devora and MK11, but I stopped. I lost interest in the game. I still follow the tournament scene, but I rarely play myself. And my modern viewers always ask, why? Why, Mayo? Why do you not like MK11? So let's do this, finally. First of all, I won't say that MK11 or MKX or Injustice are bad games. There's a lot of things in those games that I do like, but I dropped them all pretty quickly. And even though I do love watching tournaments and admiring the displays of skill by the best of the best, something about these games bores me. Something about them makes them frustrating to play and less interesting than they could be to watch. I still play MK11 from time to time, despite declaring that I hate the game, because that's how competitive franchises are. If it's a single-player game, you just don't play it if you don't like it. But when it's a 30-year series that you're attached to and you play competitively, you play the new one regardless of liking it or not. It happens with Street Fighter fans, it happens with Halo fans. You just get sucked in because you're a fan and you can't let it go. The first issue I have with MK11 is the Fatal Blow system, because it ruins something that I've always loved about other NRS games: uncommon supers. I am not a fan of constant super usage in fighting games. When I watch Marvel 3 tournaments, it's like the supers never end. I watch Dragon Ball FighterZ and I see super into super into super. Every round I see the same supers over and over. I see it in Street Fighter. I'm tired of all the constant interruptions while I gotta sit there and watch the same animation over and over for 3 to 5 matches. Mortal Kombat 9 and 10 and Injustice are special in that regard. Your super meter isn't just used to enhance special attacks and supers, you use it for combo breakers, costing 2 bars. MK10 and Injustice also have it being used for push block. And Injustice has the wager system, where you can break one combo during your second health bar to spend that meter to regenerate some of your health. You're using your meter all the time, so it's kinda hard to find yourself sitting on a full bar of meter to use a super. There were several options that were far more important than using a super, so actually seeing a super in a serious match outside of certain characters is pretty rare. Casual players use them all the time because they're cool, but when you're in a tournament, using all your meter for a 30% damage super move usually isn't the right call. Because of that, in the rare moment when you actually see a professional player use a super, it's an exciting moment. The crowd cheers, the commenters scream in surprise, no one sees it coming. It's often a huge risk, but it could win you the game.
I have to back the same. Oh, he plays it right. Oh my word.
Denzel's doing a good job keeping him out. X-ray death cancel!
MK11 made a drastic change to this by introducing the Fatal Blow, a super that is divorced from resource management, disconnected from your meter. When you have 30% health or less, you're given a free Fatal Blow to use at any time regardless of your resources. It's free, so why wouldn't you use it? You can use it to break armored escapes, resetting the damage scaling. It's unbreakable guaranteed damage in a game where the auto-regenerating meters leads to people constantly being able to break away from combo launchers. And the worst part is, if you miss, after 10 seconds it comes back and you can try it again. So everyone gets one in every fight, and there's really no reason not to use it, leading to constant fatal blows in competitive matches. And I know why they did it. NRS spends a lot of resources making these big flashy super moves, and then we almost never see them. So they wanted to make it something that was integral to the experience even on a high level, which means we gotta see the same animation a million times now. And these animations have gotten noticeably longer over time. I'd bet the average super animation has steadily gotten longer with each game. Here's just a few characters comparing their supers in MK9 with their fatal blows in MK11. Much longer animations, and 1,000 times the frequency in competitive matches. It gives every player a scrubby, easy comeback option. How many times in MK11 tournaments have you seen a player almost dead versus someone with half a health bar without the resources to do significant damage, but the commentators say all he needs now is to get one hit? And then he does. He confirms into Fatal Blow and the match is over. It happens a lot. It makes your opponent the most dangerous when they should be at their weakest.
50-50.
Shayla 50-50 was wild, but it's just so stubby.
I need to pick up subs. That's some war god shit. Hello.
Oh, wait a goddamn second. Do you guys believe in mix? Because I do, and that man's dead. Jesus.
All it takes is one. All it takes is one. Fuck it. I'm going
445.
sub, and you're getting mixed.
445. Bro, look!
It also fundamentally flips MK11's design on its head by also giving armor to these attacks. MK9 had some real BS armor attacks for certain characters. Cabal, Kenshi, Sonya, oh my god, Sonya's armored cartwheel. And then MKX came along and said, let's just give crazy armored attacks to everyone, that'll fix it. Well, it didn't. It's much better balanced now, but for the first year you could get hit with an armored launcher at any time. MK11 did away with all that, and the result should be a less ridiculous game, since they also didn't make it nearly as 50-50 based as Injustice or MKX. You don't have to worry that at any moment your opponent could come flying at you with an armored attack. But then the Fatal Blow comes along with its super armor, and suddenly you're dealing with the worst aspects of older NRS games all over again. There's like a 10-frame delay before the armor activation, but you are giving players an armored option to escape traps and setups. Every match it feels like 70% of the time you're playing MK11, and 30% of the time you're playing the will he or won't he Fatal Blow game. My next issue with MK11 is the power of grabs. Now, there's ways to deal with grabs in MK11. The high-level players are good at teching them, reading your opponents to duck and punish. It's a beautiful thing to watch. My issue isn't with how you deal with grabs. It's that they have an insane amount of priority and active frames. Or at least that's how it feels to me, because never in my life have I been grabbed so many times out of my crouching attacks. Grabs are high attacks. I do a crouching jab or a crouching kick and my opponent tries to grab me, I should win. There's no reason that a string leaving me at slight disadvantage where I'm vulnerable to a grab if I block should also lead to me getting grabbed if I try to attack low. Look at this max range down 4 getting grabbed. This grab magnetism didn't originate in MK11. It happens in MKX too. Random grabs and grab reversals after block strings regularly beating out normal attacks that they have no business beating. But the metas in those other games were not set up to make grab priority the pervasive issue it is in MK11, not by a long shot. I see people get grabbed out of the most ludicrous things, it's infuriating. And then you're getting grabbed out of an attack, and because of it you get a failed escape, which then sets up your opponent's crushing blow grab, and then you lose 30% of your life for just getting grabbed again. I'm not going to complain about the crushing blow system, I think it's okay if not just overtuned, but they feel extra bad while being in the same game as free fatal blows. The last thing I want to mention is the biggest issue, the removal of risk and the overabundance of moment-to-moment mind games through the meter burn system, or amplify system. I absolutely despise the meter burn system introduced in Injustice 1. It has completely taken over the NRS games, appearing in both Injustices, MKX, and MK11. This is going to require a few examples to explain, so bear with me. Let's take one of my character Devora's special moves, the Ovipositor Rush. If I do the regular Ovipositor Rush and it's blocked, I'm left very negative. Negative enough for any character to full combo punish. If I spend a bar for the EX version, it strikes 2 more times. I'm still left negative, but far less so, and I can't be punished. I'm safe. The ability to meter burn the Ovipositor Rush creates a mind game for the opponent because if they block the Ovipositor Rush and try to punish, they might get hit by the EX version. If they respect the option of the EX version and wait for the meter burn and you don't do it, you just let the regular punishable one rock, they'll be expecting the EX version and won't be able to react in time to punish, most likely. So every time Devora does an Avi Rush on block, it's a mix-up. Will she burn the meter, or will she not? It also makes it to where if Devora has meter, she never ever has to take a risk with Avi Rush because she can just do it whenever she wants. And if it's blocked, burn the meter and she's safe. The ability to meter burn means you can always cover your ass, and put the opponent in a mix-up while you're at it. Like I said, this goes back to Injustice, where we saw Superman doing his very punishable laser blast, seeing it blocked, and then burning the meter to make himself safe, punishing his opponent for trying to punish him. Things were not like this before Injustice. In MK9, you had special moves and EX special moves. If you wanted an EX special, you had to do the input all at once. Jax shoots a projectile, or he shoots 2. He doesn't shoot 1 and then realize he wants to shoot 2 and then meter burns halfway through. We see the implications of this when we look at a character like Scorpion. MK9 Scorpion has teleport and EX teleport. One is punishable but leads to a setup on hit, or a combo if it hits in the air. The other is a safe 2-hit attack with a little frame advantage. It's preferable to hit with the normal one because it leaves the opponent stunned for some follow-up pressure. But if you're unsure of yourself, you can toss out the EX version. If it hits, you'll get some damage. If it's blocked, you're safe and you get a little frame advantage. That's it. Those are your options. You decide if you're going to take the risk or not, and the opponent can recognize upon seeing the attack which one you did, and whether they're going to be able to punish or not. MK11 Scorpion is a very different story. He has a regular teleport, which is punishable, and an EX version, which is also punishable. However, if he sees that his regular teleport is blocked, he can meter burn it to punish you for trying to punish him. And if you block a teleport and wait for him to meter burn it, he can just not do it and get away with doing normal teleport on block. Something that used to be a straightforward decision based on risk is now a mind game. By the way, this is not about any one character or saying that there's no tech around certain things or saying that some specific move is bullshit. It's not about Scorpion. These examples are representative of the entire game, a mechanic that the game is designed around. Most, if not all, characters have ways to turn their special attacks into meter burn mind games. But Mayo, mind games are the foundation of competitive multiplayer. Sounds like you're just a scrub. I am a scrub. I mean, I'm not the worst, but I won't be winning any majors anytime soon. And this doesn't apply to just playing the game. I think it really sucks the fun out of spectating as well. Because yes, I know that mind games are important, but there are already so many. Every time you block a down jab, it's a mind game. Is my opponent just going to do the down jab, or are they going to cancel it into a special attack? Why should that special attack also be a mind game? Is my opponent going to do the full 3-hit attack string, or are they going to stop after the second hit and use my respect against me to get a throw? Is he going to come straight at me and do crouching kick harassment, or is he going to jump and maybe teleport in the air? Mind games are all over the place. They are part of fighting games. They were there before the meter burn mechanic, but at least it felt like the mind games were limited to the basics. Your punches and kicks, your movement, strike versus throw, projectile or no projectile. But with the meter burn system, an ocean of special moves have also been turned into mind games. And personally, I find it exhausting to play and boring to watch. And this isn't about me complaining about getting mixed up. I also don't like having to play this way. The whole game is designed around this, so I have to use it. I feel crappy when I win just because I meter burned a special that someone should have been able to punish. So getting hit by it or hitting someone with it myself, I think it all feels bad. And it's made even worse in MK11 with the flawless block system. Now, I'm not completely against the inclusion of flawless block in Mortal Kombat. I think it's cool to have something that rewards precise defense, but I think it was enough to just have it negate chip damage. Because of the reversal mechanic, flawless block has turned even frame advantage into a mind game. You can press after landing a low poke, and if your opponent flawless blocks it into a reversal, you could get launched into the air and fatal blow comboed into oblivion, just for pressing a button when you have frame advantage. So now you're not just deciding if you're going to take your guaranteed pressure or challenge the opponent's respect with a grab or mix-up, now they have you in a mind game too. It's too much, man, it's too much. It applies to being negative on block too. You can be minus and flawless block to punish your opponent for daring to attack, and it's like it's never anyone's turn in this game. It's a free-for-all of anything could happen at any moment. On top of all of it is a bloated character customization system which I already thought was way too much in MKX. Do you know how much work it is to have to learn the ins and out of every character in a 30-character roster for competitive play? Then to take that and multiply it by all the possible versions of these characters you could come across, having different versions of special moves and their frame data and ways their different specials can work together, it's overwhelming and I worry it's here to stay. If the next game has straightforward characters without customizable moves, critics are gonna say it's a step backwards in the series. That's a shame. Just like the meter burn system and breakaways, this too came from Injustice, when in Injustice 2 they introduced the gear system to customize your character. It wasn't tournament legal, but now it is in MK11. There's so much more I could get into. I could talk about how the breakaway system and regenerating defense meter leads to constant fear about launching opponents into the air, because if you dare to try to commit to a combo string, they can break away and recover fast enough to punish you. Again, everything gets turned into a mind game. I could talk about the story, but honestly, I haven't cared about what's going on since they turned the MK franchise into the Cage family drama story, and Cassie Cage beat fucking Shinnok. And I used to be really interested in MK lore. I remember getting all the different character endings in MK Deception and MK9. Yes, I'm one of those guys that says MK9 was the best and always will be. And plenty will say I'm viewing that game through rose-tinted glasses. And I get that. 100% Cyrax combos, Cabal, Kenshi, the input bug, player 1 advantage, the meter drain glitch. There's plenty in that game to criticize. But you know what I never hear criticized about MK9? The mechanics, the way it plays. No one complains about the meter system or the X-rays or how pokes and anti-airs work. Everyone's issues with MK9 are bug-focused and hitbox-focused and balance-focused. The game's design itself is a masterpiece. The speed is perfect, it straddles the line between casual arcade simplicity and tournament fighter complexity. Characters all had unique attack strings and special moves, but there was universality to certain attacks that led to very smooth moment-to-moment gameplay. Down ones were all negative 13 frames on block. Jump attacks were universal animations, so if you perfected your anti-air standing jab or your anti-cross-up jab, it worked pretty much the same way against all opponents, instead of having to determine which different attacks and timings are going to work against each character's different jump arc and air attack animation. Again, this started with Injustice. In MK9, the look and attitude of the characters felt classic, and the gore system was not just over the top and ridiculous, but it showed you how much of an ass-kicking you took even if you were victorious in the end. I miss those moments with friends laughing at how messed up our characters were. The combat codes for classic soundtracks, goofy combat modifiers like hazards and meter gain for throws, the fun colorful look it has compared to MKX's dark and gritty feel or MK11's kinda just normal realism look. I could go on endlessly about my love for MK9, but it's taken a while for me to actually figure out what my main problems with the rest of NRS games have been. I think they struck gold with MK9's formula, and it feels like year by year the MK series morphs into what NRS has been doing with the Injustice games. It's no coincidence that after Injustice, MKX came out and had different frame data for low pokes just like Injustice did, with character-specific jump attacks and jump arcs, and Injustice's meter burn system, and the stage interactables, and now MK11 has Injustice's breakaway system as well. And you know what? I don't want to play Injustice when I play Mortal Kombat. I want to play Mortal Kombat. I hope I get to again someday. Before I go, I want to say there are things about MK11 that I'm thankful for. Because of this game, I'm much better at ducking and punishing grabs, a skill I've taken into MK9 when I play it with friends. I think Devora's playstyle is a fascinating design, and she's probably the most fun I've had with a character since Catwoman in Injustice 1. The animation and gore effects are great, I love the fatalities, I even like the universal wake-up system. I think there's too many wake-up options, I'd get rid of roll probably, but the up 2, up 3 mechanic is an interesting approach to balance, and I wouldn't mind seeing it return in some capacity in a sequel. I'm still a Mortal Kombat fan at the end of the day. Like Resident Evil or any other series I love, I'm gonna be there to see what they do next. Thanks for watching. I'll most likely play the next MK for a few months to feel it out, so expect to see a few videos on it. See you later.